And from the pages of my journal, I'm going to begin to create content for September. And I'm going to call this September is a wonderful month to practice self-care. In fact, so many of the women I know now and the channels are doing September self-care. And I decided I'm going to jump in and do this, but I'm going to be kind of focusing on what I'm going to call my form of extreme self-care. So now Extreme Self-Care is a book written by Cheryl Richardson. I also I used to teach self-care in my coaching years ago, and so it's a topic that I'm well versed in. So it's also a topic that I struggle with. So I thought, okay, I wanted to really figure out what self-care means to me. Like, what does that really mean? A big portion of extreme self-care, because that's what it feels like. It feels extreme for me right now, because it's like a luxury. Like, what's a luxury? It's not just self-care. It's not just getting my nails, like that kind of stuff. I like to get my nails done. I like to take care of myself. But extreme self-care for me is about allowing myself to go for walks, about allowing myself to have certain things. Like, I get this image it's like I conjure up this image in my head of sitting out on my back porch, having a muffin and drinking coffee. Thought, well, why not allow myself to do that? Oh, but I don't want the extra calories. Oh, but like, I have this whole thing. So I'm going to step into this new journey just for September, and I'll see how it goes, where I'm going to be really bringing in some of the elements, like glimpses into what I do to nurture myself and my soul. And one of the primary ways that I do this is journaling. I love to journal. I spent 3 hours writing. I call it journaling. I do a lot of writing. I write stories and content and stuff. I get a lot of satisfaction out of it, but it feels like an extreme self-care item for me, because I often hold back because I don't have time for it, or in the past I didn't have time for it. So I'm now going to allow myself in the month of September to spend more time with that. I'm sticking to my morning pages. I'm journaling. I'm writing. Like, that's where I'm allowing myself to do my personal work. And from the pages of my journal, I'm going to begin to create content for September. And I'm going to call this Extreme Self-Care September for me. But like I said, there is a book called Extreme Self-Care. What I'm doing is not to be confused with that, but it is very much inspired by Cheryl Richardson's book, Extreme Self-Care. It's a book I've read several times. We could talk about that book if you would like to. I would be happy to delve into some of that material, but I do recommend the book. And so I'm going to be talking about topics that are dear to my heart. We're going to go a little deeper than I've been going on my blog. When I started my vlog, I had no clue what I was doing. I just jumped in and I just started having fun and learning how to vlog. But I feel like I'm ready to bring a big portion of, there's a big part of me that I've left out, the real heart-to-heart conversations that I want to have, the things I really want to say, especially as a woman I'm going to be 60 years old in 2 years. So I'm actually going to be 58 here soon. So I'm completing my 58th year here on the planet. I feel like I've learned a few things, sometimes the hard way, the school of hard knocks, but I have a lot of wisdom and training too. And so I'm going to kick off today's video. Now, I'm not going to have a particular schedule. I will be posting my goal is to post 3 times a week. I might post more, we'll see. But I'm going to primarily be talking with you on every one of my videos right now about something that I've pulled from my journal, something that I've reflected on. And I'm going to begin today with something I wrote this morning. And I'm not going to stick to a certain topic. I'm just going to share with you what's going on in my own life as I delve into, like, I feel like I'm passing through this threshold of, like, I'm shedding my skin in a way. I'm becoming like this other woman as I get older. I recognized her. It was been a couple of days ago. I had an experience where I passed the mirror. I walked past the mirror, and it inspired what I'm going to read to you this morning. Or it's morning for me. So I am decorating, by the way. I'm starting to put some fall decor out, so excuse the mess. So let's just dive right into my little story that I want to share with you today. Okay, so here's an example of what we might be exploring this month for extreme self-care. And again, I want to just invite you to think about what it is that nourishes you and allow yourself to do a little bit of that every day. For me, it's writing, reflecting. I'm finding that I'm at a luxury, like at my point in life, at this season of my life, I have time to sort of indulge a bit into my passions, a little more than I did when I was raising kids and working and all of those things. So, okay, I'm stalling. So, because this is going to hit very close to home, but this is where I want to go for the month of September. So let's dive in. This week, I glanced in the mirror with no makeup, hair pulled back, and glasses on. In that moment, I felt a profound love and acceptance for the woman looking back at me. It wasn't youthful vitality I saw, but a gentle soul with wisdom in her eyes and a compassionate heart. She'd lived through a lot, had stories to share, cared deeply about the world and its people, loved her family, had a passion for learning, an open mind, and a big heart. She was strong in mind and finally comfortable in her skin. She radiated confidence, contentment, and peacefulness. She had come home to herself. So that's a little glance into my journal this morning. And I realized when I wrote that, I truly meant it. Does it mean I'm going to be in that place all the time? No, it's not. In fact, on an upcoming video, I'm going to talk about confidence. I've struggled with it myself, but I found that getting to know myself and how I react to outside circumstances, like paying attention to my own reaction more than other people's behavior, has taught me a lot. So this is the stuff I want to talk about in September. I hope you'll come along and we'll see. When October comes, I'll be thinking about my next theme, but for September, I really want to focus on self-care, and not just self-care, but extreme self-care. I want to take this time to get to know who I am and what I'm about and find my voice as almost 58-year-old woman. So thank you so much for being here. I hope you're doing well. Take care, and I'll see you on the next one.
I know you're all about the good vibes.